right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Inching closer to triple digits as our southern counties prepare for a heat advisory. I'll tell you how hot it'll actually feel with the heat index.
Tonight, are Americans over the age of 49 already protected from monkeypox? We verify. But first tonight, police say a man wielding a machete, then a mallet, went after 4 people.
It could have been worse than that, but I'm happy and stuff that they're okay.
Where police caught up with the man just hours ago. Tonight, that St. Louis man is off the streets and people in Maryland Heights are breathing a sigh of relief. Good evening. I'm Mike Bush.
And I'm Ann Allred. Police say the man is accused of randomly terrorizing 4 people with a rubber mallet and a machete-style knife near I-270 and Dorset Road. There were 2 separate incidents. 5 on your side's Robert Townsend visited the area today to gauge how the community is feeling about all this. And he joins us live from the Maryland Heights Police Department. Robert?
Mike and Ann, right now, Tony Hanna Jr. is locked up in the St. Louis County Jail. And let me tell you, people I talked to are glad about that.
Well, as far as I can see, it's been pretty quiet.
But police say in the past week, 34-year-old Tony Hanna Jr. disturbed the peace in this Maryland Heights neighborhood. Investigators say in mid-afternoon last Monday, Hanna first hid in some bushes at this apartment complex on Bonanza Drive off Dorset Road. Police tell us when a man and woman suddenly heard noises, Hanna jumped from the bushes, yelled at the couple, and then threatened them with a machete-style knife.
In the broad daylight like that, that was very scary.
Police say the scared couple and knife-wielding suspect both ran off in different directions. The man and woman were not hurt. Anita Martinez has lived at the apartment complex for 2 years.
I'm very relieved that they're not hurt because that could have been me.
Police arrested Hanna and took him to a hospital for psychiatric evaluation. It's unclear how long Hanna was there, but under state law, he could remain at the hospital for up to 96 hours. 5 days later, around 10:30 Saturday night, police say the same man went to this apartment complex on Spanish Trace Drive in Maryland Heights and assaulted a couple in a laundry room. Investigators say Hanna hit a 22-year-old woman and a 31-year-old man on their heads and faces with a rubber mallet, similar to this one pictured here, and then took off. Both victims were treated at a hospital. Today, police arrested Hanna at a gas station in Bridgeton.
He was probably intending to do really bodily harm to him, so I'm happy that nothing, they were able to live, nothing happened, they didn't die.
Anita Martinez is now being extra careful when she's outside this summer, and she's hoping others will do the same.
They have to be careful and look out and stuff and make sure that they keep their doors locked, their cars locked, windows locked. When you come outside, make sure and stuff, you kind of look around, you see anybody strange, maybe call the police.
And today, prosecutors charged Hanna with 2 counts of first-degree assault. Tonight, he is still sitting in jail on a $100,000 cash-only bond. Live in Maryland Heights, Robert Townsend, 5 on your side.
A man is in custody after saying he shot and killed a Kansas City police officer on the side of the road. He turned himself in after the officer died at the hospital. Authorities say during a traffic stop, the driver got out of the car and shot the officer. The suspect's name has not been released because charges have not been filed yet. The North Kansas City Police Department says their officer was only 32 years old. Tonight, the case rests against the man accused of shooting and killing a retired St. Louis police captain. Jurors heard from 8 witnesses today, including one that prosecutors say put Stephen Cannon at the scene of the crime. But Cannon's public defender tore through that testimony's credibility, noting how the witness told police at least 4 different stories about that night. The defense is expecting to begin its case tomorrow.
Dozens of healthcare workers packed a St. Louis County courtroom today. They demanded justice for 2 hospital employees who were stabbed while on the job. Jamissa Rivers is accused of stabbing 1 paramedic and a nurse a week ago at SSM Health DePaul Hospital in Bridgeton.
I think these are our brothers and sisters and our people in arms, to be honest with you, fighting on the front lines. I mean, the past few years have been crazy with COVID, but I think that when something happens like this, you take this personally. This is your family, and you never want something like this to happen to your family.
The judge decided to keep Rivers in custody without bond. A grand jury will decide if she will be indicted before her preliminary hearing on August 15th. The hospital added a metal detector and a 24-hour security guard to the ER.
Within the last hour, we've learned a measure to ban sex acts inside of St. Louis County government buildings will move forward. It comes after much discussion from county leaders on whether inappropriate acts on county property should be banned and whether they should come with jail time. Brent Solomon is just out of that meeting. And Brent, what's going to happen from here?
Well, I'll tell you what, it's not a done deal yet. There will now be more discussion, hearing from county employees themselves before council makes a final vote. The proposal comes after the county executive's former chief of staff, Cal Harris, resigned last month following a cell phone video that showed him involved in a sex act inside of his office wearing a county badge. Tonight, most county council members agreed the act was inappropriate, but there was some back and forth over whether acts like this should be criminalized. Before the council voted to move forward with looking into the ban, Councilman Fitch asked the county executive to weigh in.
Council passes an ordinance. If you can figure out how to define sex acts and how to enforce it, then I'll sign the bill.
It'd be like any other county ordinance is enforced. Let's assume it was in place when your chief of staff allegedly conducted himself in that manner, and it was a violation of this ordinance. It's on county property. The county counselor's office would issue charges on it.
I think this ordinance is just cruel and unnecessary. I am all for taking a closer look at HR rules and other rules that we have that apply to situations like this that would result in termination or discipline. But to send somebody to jail after their lives and careers are already destroyed, this is just a bridge too far.
Now, ultimately, Councilman Fitch said he's open to taking jail time out of the equation, but he says he wants to send a strong message for all county workers, including those whom the county executive appoints. The Missouri State Highway Patrol continues to investigate whether the former chief of staff did anything illegal. Tonight, the county executive says if this ordinance moves forward, quote, folks will pay attention to what the rules are. Mike.
Brent, thanks. Well, we've been telling you for months that St. Louis County plans to renovate Kinloch Park, and tomorrow there will be a big announcement. County Executive Sam Page has been touting the effort to revitalize Kinloch Park, putting a nice park in the middle of a community that needs a shot in the arm. Some $900,000 from the St. Louis County Parks Foundation will help get new playground equipment, a ball field, restrooms, and a walking trail.
Tonight, St. Louis is without one of its historic buildings. The St. Louis Symphony Orchestra demolished the Culver House on Delmar to make way for an eastward expansion of its Powell Hall. The project cost $100 million, giving it a larger lobby and more seating.
The Queenie Park Art Fair is canceled for the third year in a row, and this time it's not because of COVID. Art fair organizers tell us the park fell victim to theft and vandalism, putting its construction even further behind schedule, forcing them to cancel. They said the art fair is probably the biggest moneymaker for the park. It's been going on the last 44 years. September was supposed to be its grand return since the pandemic.
It's very frustrating, and the artists are eager to get back in the swing of things. People are hungry. There's a pent-up demand, and so we were really disappointed to have to cancel, but it was the best decision to make.
The next event is supposed to happen in the spring of 2023. We're waiting to hear back from St. Louis County Police for more details of the vandalism.
After 50 years, you'll now see a big close sign outside an AMC movie theater in East Alton.
5 on your side's Elise Schoenig spent the day talking to longtime residents who are looking back on memories they made and looking ahead at what's to come in East Alton.
I'm going to miss that one because I spent many times going there.
After AMC Classic East Gate 6 closed its doors in East Alton, longtime community members like Paul Sauls were quick to reminisce.
Ever since I was a little kid, from what I can remember, it's always been here.
It's no secret the pandemic hit the movie theater industry hard. With social distancing and increased streaming platforms, keeping theaters open was a challenge to many communities. But East Alton resident Woodrow Peterson says there are still reasons to believe in the future of the Eastgate Plaza.
You can see Eastgate, what he's invested into it and what he's trying to achieve out of it.
He's talking about Todd Kennedy, owner and operator of Eastgate Plaza. We were unable to get a response from Kennedy, but Peterson says it's not his first time working with him.
I do know just from past experience with him, especially with the farmers market, when I brought up the idea to him, he was 100% for it.
Kennedy has been using a corner of the plaza next to the theater for a local farmers market. It's a small symbol of hope that bright things are ahead for the community.
And the pickles over there are the best.
Now, although signs show that the doors to this theater are closed, people I spoke to today told me that their memories made here are untouchable.
I have very fond memories.
A lot of good memories came from this place.
Although the screenings and popcorn will be on hold for now, Sauls says it doesn't change the memories of the theater.
We took my aunt there right after she lost her husband a few months afterwards, and we watched one of the first Medea movies, and we loved it.
Or his hopes for its future. In East Alton, Elise Schoenig, 5 on your side.
Supporting the message, but condemning the action.
Protesting as an elected official, that's not how you're going to be able to get that done. I'm saying do your job.
The different approaches fighting the overturning of Roe v. Wade in Washington. Concerned about monkeypox? We verify the study showing how you may already have some protection.
Hot and humid weather ramps up this week, but what about some much needed rain? Well, I'll lay out those chances coming up.
Many same-sex couples are hopeful tonight. The House voted today to protect same-sex marriage nationwide. Almost 50 Republicans voted yes. This has been a law ever since a Supreme Court ruling in 2015, but Democrats pushed through today's vote after the court's recent ruling to overturn Roe v. Wade. There's concern the court might also overturn same-sex marriage. The bill now goes to the Senate, where it faces an uncertain path. It will need at least 10 Republican votes to pass.
We won't go back. 2 local lawmakers are among several arrested today in our nation's capital. Missouri Congresswoman Cori Bush and a congresswoman from Illinois protested outside the Supreme Court during an abortion rights rally. Bush ignored verbal orders from police telling her to leave before they escorted her to another area. A statement from her office says she was arrested. State Senator Steve Roberts is challenging Bush in the August primary. He tells 5 on your side he disagrees with her actions today.
If the 1st District in Missouri elects you to Congress, would we see you out in the streets making a similar protest?
You'll see me in the Capitol filing legislation to codify Roe v. Wade to protect women's reproductive rights. As an elected official, the priority needs to be, how do we find a solution? How do we solve this problem?
Roberts' criticism appeared to suggest a member of Congress could not protest while a vote was taking place or debate was ongoing. Bush says she already filed bills yesterday and today.
Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker is COVID positive after several close contacts. His office says he tested positive during his routine tests and his symptoms are mild. They say he'll take an antiviral medication and work from home. 2 COVID subvariants are causing a surge in cases across the country. The BA.5 accounts for 65% of new cases. BA.4 accounts for 16%. These are considered Omicron's smarter cousins and are believed to be the most contagious versions of the virus yet. The most common symptoms mimic the common cold with sore throats and runny noses, but doctors say one thing that differs from the other variants is the heightened amount of sneezing. They're also seeing an even higher degree of loss of taste and smell.
Meanwhile, both Missouri and Illinois have started receiving limited doses of the monkeypox vaccine. Federal health partners are allocating vaccines to each state in the U.S. based on the number of cases. The city of St. Louis first confirmed a probable case of monkeypox last week, as did St. Clair County in Illinois. State health departments say they will approve where to send doses based on how many monkeypox cases are reported in each county. Tonight, many of you watching are over the age of 49. That means you likely received a routine vaccination against smallpox. That vaccine also provided protection against monkeypox. And with the first probable cases of monkeypox reported in our area, one 5 on your side viewer wants to know if she's still protected. Let's verify. Barbara Nelson asked the Verify team, those of us who were vaccinated for smallpox prior to 1972, do we have some immunity to monkeypox? Our sources, Dr. Sharon Frey, Clinical Director of St. Louis University's Center for Vaccine Development, Dr. Paul Offit, Director of Children's Hospital of Philadelphia's Vaccine Education Center, and the New York State Health Department. Prior to 1972, the smallpox vaccination was routine in the U.S. Our experts say it also protected people from monkeypox because both diseases are part of the pox virus family. That was at least 50 years ago. The vaccine experts told me studies have shown some people can have partial protection against these diseases for decades. Dr. Fry said, though, this does not mean that someone would be completely protected from disease if exposed, but it could mean that a response to a booster vaccination would provide a quicker response. We can verify people who received the smallpox vaccine before 1972 were also protected against monkeypox. But it doesn't mean you're still protected. A booster vaccine is needed to ensure immunity to both viruses. The World Health Organization declared smallpox eradicated in 1980. Today, the CDC only recommends the smallpox vaccine to lab workers who work with similar viruses and to people who need long-term protection like military personnel. Our experts say the current vaccine is about 85% effective against monkeypox. What can I verify for you? Email me, verify@ksdk.com.
Well, if you got a pay raise, it probably wasn't as big as the one given to your boss. New data tonight shows that last year, the average pay raise for CEOs was over 18%. Workers average about a quarter of that, and it doesn't put a dent in the rising cost of living. The biggest gap at Amazon, where the CEO is making close to 6,500 times more than the average worker. Tonight, Netflix says close to 1 million people canceled their subscriptions, and that's actually good news. That's less than half the 2 million defectors they thought they had. But analysts are expecting more cancellations next quarter when Netflix will start cracking down on password sharing.
Another hot one today. Meteorologist Jim Castillo is in for Scott tonight. So, Jim, you're already looking so guilty.
I know. Because it was only 94, we're going to the upper
And I'm right,
90s,
and we're saying it's hot. It's like that. You ain't seen nothing yet.
Exactly. You're not going to like what's coming. So 98 tomorrow and the next day, and then by Friday we're in the low 100s, and as we head into Saturday, well, same kind of deal. In fact, low 100s expected all the way through as we head into the weekend forecast. All right, let's just check to see what's going on here. Right now, 94 degrees for that high today, 74 for that overnight low, 90 and 71 is the normal, and then we have about 106 for that record high, so nowhere near that. It is still 86 degrees, feels like 91 at 10 o'clock in St. Louis. Humidity at 59%. South-southeast breeze has been up at about 13 miles an hour. There is a cold front. We don't like to say that because tomorrow's high is 98, so it does pass through here. It only is a wind shift line, so it's going to move our winds from a southwest to a northwest direction and pick up a little bit in the afternoon at 10 to 15 miles an hour. That'll make it feel good. Plus the humidity a little lower tomorrow, but the dew point still at about 65. When it gets to near 70 like it is right now, it's really muggy. So our southern counties could see heat indices as high as 106. Perry County, Missouri, Iron County, Reynolds County, and then we have Jefferson and Clay in Illinois. So St. Louis could see a heat index of 101, Farmington 104, Perryville 106, Mount Vernon, Illinois about 106. Let's jump to Friday, and it feels like 104 in St. Louis, Chesterfield 105, and probably those heat advisories will be extended and maybe even an excessive heat warning. We'll have to see how hot it gets and how high the humidity goes. The storm track is staying to the north. It is right along the U.S.-Canadian border. When you see a little bit of a dip here, that's where we're seeing the thunderstorm activity. That pink area, that's that really high heat. That stays with us all the way through at least Sunday. So we're watching those records. Records are really kind of too high to reach. 108 for Friday, going for 102. 108 Saturday for the record high. And the forecast is about 104. That's still high. 101 for the record Sunday, going for 100. 10-day forecast is showing temperatures again, way up there this weekend, but then good storm chances, it looks like, Sunday night into Monday. Probably pushing down the temperature to 94, but still humid. Morning storms on Monday, and then staying humid with a storm chance as we head into next week. So dry this week, but better storm chances next week.
All right, Jim, thanks. Frank is here with sports.
Well, Mike, a local player got picked in the MLB draft. Andy Van Slyke gives us his take on the Cardinals, and we're playing hit and run with Mizzou quarterback Brady Cook. The American League has won 8 straight All-Star games. In fact, in that span, the National League only led for 1 inning. Paul Goldschmidt gave the National League a 2-0 lead with a 415-foot shot in the first inning. Albert Pujols flew out in the 4th. Ryan Helsley pitched a scoreless 8th inning, and he threw 8 pitches 100 miles per hour or more. Right now, the American League leads it 3-2 in the 9th inning. The Cardinals will open up the second half of the season with the Reds on Friday night in Cincinnati, and that's a good thing. The Birds are 27-13 against losing teams and 23-31 against winning teams. The second half schedule is conducive to a lot of winning.
The teams that they're facing have a winning percentage of 30%. I mean, I don't know what more you can ask for to have the perfect situation going into a postseason. If they don't get this one, then it might be the greatest collapse in Cardinal history.
Congrats to this guy, Kevin Graham, who realized a baseball dream today. Graham, the pride of Westminster, was picked in the 14th round by the Diamondbacks. For his career, he hit 38 homers, a .312 batting average, a .378 on base, and a staggering .928 OPS. And don't forget, he led Ole Miss to the national championship. St. Louis City SC unveiled a new founding partner today, Lou Fuse Automotive. They'll sponsor the expansive Lou Fuse Plaza under construction on the east side of Centene Stadium. It's the latest company with deep St. Louis roots to partner with City SC, and the club said these partnerships will go a long way to their goal of helping to revitalize downtown.
And being an exceptional neighbor is about creating a renaissance and a bright future for St. Louisans. That can't happen unless there is investment coming into the city. That's what this is all about. So to have brands like Centene and Purina and Lou Fuse and all of the incredible partners that we've had, it shows that not only from a business community but our season ticket holders, there is energy around that notion. There is belief that we have a reason to have swagger and excitement about St. Louis.
Can't wait. We often play hit and run with a sports celebrity. It's rapid fire Q&A, no hedging is allowed. Tonight, we visit with the pride of Chaminade and Mizzou quarterback Brady Cook. Favorite place to eat in Columbia?
Flat Branch.
Meanest thing Coach Drink has ever said to you?
You throw it like Ryan Fitzpatrick.
One thing about the coach that we would be surprised to know.
He drinks over 10 Diet Mountain Dews per day.
He said that exact same thing in that chair. Football hero growing up?
Tom Brady.
True or false? You tried to get into DeSmet, but your test scores were too low, so you had to go to Chaminade.
False.
How far can you throw a football?
68 yards.
Freakiest thing you've ever seen Luther Burden do on the field so far?
In spring practice, probably take a screen for like 73 yards.
Other than Luther, whose athleticism would you like to have on this team?
Dominic Lovett.
Why?
He can do anything he wants to on the field. Jump, run, catch. I think he can throw a ball pretty well too.
Football dream right now?
Win the SEC East next year.
Atmosphere in Columbia with a big team coming in. Describe what it's like running on the field.
Surreal. It is literally like a dream.
And good luck to Brady Cook.
Frank, thanks. Well, a $100 million project is just about completed. The timeline you can expect before checking out the Botanical Garden's newest addition.
If you miss getting a glimpse and a whiff of the Missouri Botanical Garden's corpse flower, catch a flight to Syracuse. Theirs is in bloom now at the SUNY College of Environmental Science and Forestry. It's a whopping 50 inches, making it the largest of its kind right now. The one that grew locally reached 60.5 inches last week.
Speaking of the Botanical Garden, you can expect its new Jack C. Taylor Visitor Center grand opening to be on the 27th of August. This cost about $100 million. A spokeswoman says They're especially proud of the 90,000 square foot project despite supply chain issues. In the winter, the visitor center that's there now will transition into the Bear Event Center.
Tomorrow night, you can meet this married couple biking across America. Since May, Deborah Meyerson and Steven Zuckerman have biked for Stroke for America. They'll be in Tower Grove Park at 6 o'clock to celebrate with stroke survivors at the Sons of Rest Pavilion. And their goal is to reach Boston by August.
And Jim has one final check of the weather, right, Jim?
Yeah, hi guys. So tonight's lows in the 70s, probably 78 in St. Louis and low and mid 70s outside of the city. Tomorrow 98 and the humidity stays in check. It gets really hot though Friday, Saturday and Sunday.
There you have it. 5 on your side at 10. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is next.
Start your day with Today in St. Louis. They get started at 4 a.m. and have a great tomorrow.